Good morning, students. This is a computer lesson class for jss3. I hope you are keeping safe and doing well. Our topic today is graphs. Graphs in a worksheet. Previously, in our previous lessons, we've been talking about worksheet applications, how to work with a worksheet, how to format a worksheet, how to fill text in a worksheet, how to print a worksheet, So today we are going to be dealing with graphs in a worksheet. You can see this chart in bracket. That means you can either refer to it as graphs or charts. Okay? Having said that, we are going to define what graphs are. What is a graph? A graph is a diagram showing the relationship between varying quantities. A graph is a diagram showing the relationship between varying quantities. It is also a diagram used to indicate the relationship between two or more variable quantities. What did I say? It is also a diagram used to indicate the relationship between two or more variable quantities. Alright, sometimes, remember I said graphs can also be referred to as charts. Graphs can also be referred to as charts. I have said that a graph is a diagram showing the relationship between varying quantities. It is also a diagram used to indicate the relationship between two or more variable quantities. Alright, we are going to go further in this lesson. Alright, before I go further, let me write out the definition of a graph. Alright, that is that for the definition. We've said that a graph is a diagram showing the relationship between two varying quantities. It is also a diagram used to indicate the relationship between two or more variable quantities. Having established that, we are going to go further to discuss the uses of graphs. What is the importance of graphs? Why should we have graphs in the first place? Why would one want to do anything with a graph? Okay? One of the uses of a graph says it is used to display results of computer mathematical operations in diagrammatic forms. It is used to display results of computer mathematical solutions in diagrammatic forms. Number 2, it is used to indicate the relationship between two or more variable quantities. Just like stated in the definition, it is used to indicate the relationship between two or more variable quantities. Number 3 says it is used to measure quantities along two axis sides. It is used to measure quantities along two axes set at right angle to each other. It is used to measure quantities along two axes set at right angle to each other. Number 4 says in accompanying variables in a table. It is used to compare variables in a table. And number 5 says it's used in enhancing results or reports presentation. It is used in enhancing results or report presentation. Those are the uses of graphs. Alright, let's go forth as we put down uses of graphs. Number 1, to display results of complex mathematical solutions in diagrammatical form. Number 2 says to indicate the relationship between two or more variable quantities. Number 3, it is used to measure quantities along two axes set at right angle to each other. Number 4, it is used in comparing variables in a table. And number 5, it is used in enhancing report presentation. Alright, those are the uses of graphs. Number 1, we have said graphs are used to display results of complex mathematical solutions in diagrammatical form. Number 2, to indicate the relationship between two or more variable quantities. And number 3, to measure quantities along two axes set at right angle to each other. Number 4, we say it is used in comparing variables in a table. And number 5, we say it is used in enhancing report presentation. Alright, those are the uses of graphs. That will take us further to types of graphs. Types of graphs. Types of graphs. Alright, the first type of graph we are going to look at is the chart type. Remember, I'm going to give you subtypes. In each of these types I'm going to list, it has its subtypes. Before we end this lesson, we are going to do a little practical aspect of it to see all these things as they display in a computer system. Alright, the first type of graphs we are going to look at is the chart type. And under the chart type, we have subtypes such as the column, subtypes. We have A, the column. B, we have the start column. B, we have the start column. C, we have the 100% start column. D, we have the 3D columns. 3D columns. These are under chart style. Alright. There are more other subtypes under this chart style that we have listed. Alright, so number 2, we are going to look at the bar chart. Number 2, the bar chart. Remember I said under each one it has its subtype. So we are going to look at the subtypes under the bar chart. Subtypes are A. Subtypes under the bar chart, we have the clustered bar. We have the clustered bar. We have the stacked bar. We have the 100% clustered bar. We have the 3D stacked bar, and so on and so forth. So we move to the next one. Number 3, we are going to look at the bar chart. Number 3, we'll look at the bar chart. We'll look at its subtypes. Subtypes of bar chart. A, we have the pie with pie. We have the pie with pie. B, we have the exploded pie. Exploded pie. C, we have the pie with 3D visual effects. etc. There are lots of other ones under that subtype. Alright, we are going to be looking at basically this. We have more other charts. We have more other charts like the line graphs, we have the scatter chart, we have the area chart, we have the donut chart, we have surface chart, we have radar charts. These are all examples of or types of graphs. Now remember, we are talking about graphs in a worksheet. All these things we have discussed here, we say graph is a diagram showing the relationship between varying quantities. We've looked at the uses of graphs and we've looked at the types of graphs. Remember, everything we are discussing here is embedded in a worksheet. It's embedded in a what? A worksheet. So we are going to look at the steps in creating a graph. Steps in creating a graph in a worksheet. Let's look at the steps. The steps taken to create graphs in the worksheet. Now the worksheet we are going to be looking at, we are going to be using Excel. Like you know, we've been working with Excel so far. So we are going to be using Excel to create a graph and look at the steps that will be followed. First of all, I'm going to give you the steps here and then we'll go practically and look at how we can use those steps and create a graph. First of all, the first step we'll look at is in creating a graph in a worksheet, example Excel. Number 1, we'll key in the data numbers and ensure there are no blank cells between the data. Key in the data as numbers. In the worksheet, and ensure there are no blank spaces. Alright, and ensure there are no blank spaces between the data. That's step 1. Now the second step we are going to take after entering the data is we select the data range. Number 2, select the data range. Alright, number 3, the third step is you click on Insert menu. Click on Insert menu. And number 4, click on Chart Wizard. Click on Chart Wizard. Number 5 step, click on any of the subtypes that suits your purpose. Click on any of the subtypes that suits your purpose. Alright, after doing this, the next thing you do is you continue taking next until you get to the finished line. The last step, which is the 6th one, is continue. So click on next until finish, and then you have your graphs. These are the steps that will be taken to create a graph in a worksheet. Alright, we're going to go to our system to see how we do this and achieve the purpose. Alright, this is one that I have created by myself, but I'm going to go through the steps I took in creating this graph so that you follow me accordingly. Alright, so we're going to create a new document. Create a new document. Remember, we said that the first step says key in the data numbers in the worksheet and ensure there are no blank spaces. So we are going to key in our data. First of all, we take the caption. Let me say I want to deal with transportation. I want to compare means of transportation to see which one is better. So I'll take transportation. I'm entering my data. You can see the steps I'm following to enter my data. We've all worked with Excel, so we know how to do this. Is it public transport? Is it bus? Is it the bike? Is it private vehicle? So we want to compare this means of transportation. So under transportation, we have these options to compare. So the first one I'm going to compare here, I'll take private. I'm comparing private. I'm comparing public. And I have bike. Okay, let me take those 3. All right, under my transportation, I'm just going to name them 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and under private, I'm going to list how much it will cost me to travel, to transport something, or be it a human or goods in private transportation. So I'll just put a fixed number that I want to use. Let me say private, I want to use 80 here. Public, I want to use, of course, you know that public transport will be cheaper than private, so I'll put a lesser number than the one I have in the private, so I'll use 60 here. And the bike, I can use 50 here. So I'll continue to do that to fill all my data here. Make sure there are no blank spaces. Remember that rule. Alright, we're still entering our data. Okay, under public, we're still looking at our entries. Alright, you can see how I'm entering my data. Make sure there are no blank spaces. I think I have a repetition of a number there, so I'm going to change that. Alright, okay, that's the first step that has been completed. The second step says click on select data range. Select data range. Alright, and then the third says click on insert and go to the third one says click on insert, and the fourth one says click on chart wizard. Chart wizard, and it has taken us to columns. You can see my columns here. I have the line, I have pie, I have bar, I have area, I have scatter, and others. Now I'm going to choose any one that fits my job, just like steps number 5 says. Click on any of the subtypes that suit your purpose. So I'm going to choose any one that suits my purpose. I've decided to choose a 3D column. That is my graph that I have gotten here. That's the output of what we have done. So these are the steps that are taken in creating graphs in a worksheet environment. Thank you very much for giving me your attention and this class. I hope to see you in our next class. But before I go, I'm going to drop a little activity for you to do for me so that you get used to working with this worksheet. Use your personal computers at home and create question number 1. Create a chart for me. Comparing variables of, what will I use now? I've used transportation as an example. Maybe I should use, okay, use any topic of your choice. So I'm giving you the opportunity to choose whatever you want. Bring out, create your data by yourself, create a heading of your choice, create a data entry of your choice, make out a graph. I just want to see you producing a graph, thereby making me understand that you have followed the steps and you understand how these graphs are created in a worksheet environment. You can decide to create, is it a bar chart, a bar chart, or columns, or all other types that we've listed here. So create a chart for me and I'll see you in my next class. Have a good day.